It's Jester Gaming. We have another tantalizing week of GTA Double Money. We got double money for the Nightclub, which is just simply amazing. It's amazing because we're gonna make quite a bit.
Anyone with $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans may qualify for help from National Debt Line. Then
I've sold 4 of the 5 MC businesses. The last one had 3 of my 4 motorcycles blown up because of griefers.
God mode, you're going to avoid yeah, starting with the Blazer Aqua. And besides it being a bit expensive, it's normal vehicle that's fun to take in the water, but have you ever noticed it's impossible to flip one over? Seriously, from spamming my up and atomizer at it to having to slowly run into it, this thing just refuses to flip over. I mean, even if I use mine, that this is upside down, it'll just automatically flip itself back over. And I genuinely try to think of some reason as to why, like, oh, maybe the look balance is off or something with the design, but I'm not that smart and really didn't come up with anything other than this system not sure. But yeah, evil. Every car in GTA
To salvage yard.
Except to be at evil. For some reason, if you hold it to the Los Angeles Tesla, secondary changes also change the color of the stock rules, and you may not hear all, but also you can see like, what if it's made you should hot for real. So yeah, a lot of people actually care. This is kind of cool. The night shot. This is probably the best $1.2 million spent. Out inside bomb proof. And no, I'm not. Because yeah, somehow after an explosion in your hand, and quickly for comparison, when you normally hold it to the hand, you die. So I don't know if the inside of this thing is focused on the technology of pretty wild. The Mesa. Okay, so the Mesa isn't the only car which is good, but anyway, this car is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tires, right? But the 4 tires on the ground you can shoot and they deflate like a normal tire, right? So you would think this one would also deflate like a tire does, right? Wrong. You can literally shoot every bullet you've ever owned into this thing and it won't pop for some reason. Even if you blow up the car, the tire still has air in it. Like, bro, what? The Yugo Bravado. I think that's how you say it. Anyway, this thing probably just looks like a normal van you would do some normal van activities with, but it actually holds a dark secret. Get it? It's not that dark. But if you put this off on your content, you can put upgrade on it. But then if I go and shoot it, it's this way. Yeah, it still makes the sound effect of a window breaking. Obviously not using any windows. But Santana, yeah, unfortunately, the only Santana is well, it's not. But it's something I'm surprised more people haven't noticed, because every time you're driving over, it's pretty much always looking at the back, which makes you spot exhaust clip. But if you take a closer look, one of them is impossible. Because I make these things fit through, you can see that it's got a 3 and a 4 exhaust clip, so why the hell is it beyond? The future, yeah, part of this thing has its own name on this car, okay, that was close. But yeah, anyway, eventually the float, even weirder, it still works. It still go up and down. That's it. The Bigelow GX. A Camaro. Because yeah, believe it or not, it goes just and in the video, we all know that's not good. And this one doesn't actually have anything crazy. It's just when you put the top down, convertible, it just randomly leaves some piece of glass, which, I don't know, maybe this is normal on Camaro, goodness, I don't have a compare with this Husky so I'm gonna go ahead and put some bug by Rockstar. Granted, driveway. And yeah, okay. And the driveway itself isn't a car, but they are driveway. And they're pretty normal because of the fact you can't drive them. You can't even break a window or damage these cars at all. They just don't move. And like, I guess a kind of second car. It's called Grand Theft Auto. I mean, that is crazy. But yeah, there's some of the only cars in the game that you can't drive. The only other ones I can think of would be some of the ones in the auto show, but I don't think it's more. The close to trap. So we all know it's an unwritten rule of GTA that you have to drive through these yellow things or you'll get banned. But there is one exception. Once players don't want to run over these things, then it's when you're in a close to trap. Some weird reason, drive over these things is just called fun. I mean, these go everywhere, and it's not a real thing. Semi-trucks. Because not all of them, but a lot of them have this badge. Because the B24 Supercharged, that is a Bugatti engine plus like a Scat Pack engine combined into one supercharged line. I mean, if this thing had a B24 Supercharged engine, I just wanted to go in and the right at it. The 190Z. That's very great. Weird about it. You can open the driver's side door and the passenger side door. But you can also open both the rear doors even though it's a two-door car. So you're probably just like, oh, so the button can't really do anything to it. And you'd be wrong. Because you probably use a little flash towards the front of the car. And that's absolutely no clue. But I guess you have them. They're taxis. Oh my god, I don't even know what to begin with this one. Well, I guess for starters, every passenger turns the driver's arm, they will use it. And I can literally whip out the driver and watch him run away, so since time may not be true. You can walk up to a taxi and put a sticky bomb on it, then if you try to get in, the taxi just kicks you out. Or if you don't put a bomb on the car and just try to get in, it obviously get in the backseat. But if you walk over by the passenger side, outside the door, and then try to get in, to the passenger side, or you can get in the taxi and fast travel to the LA River, because once you get out, your driver just continues to drive down the river. You can also somehow convince taxi drivers to fast travel to the middle of the ocean for any car with an engine in the back. And other than the fact it's just cool to have an engine in the back of your car, there is actually a big difference. Well, maybe not that big, but any car that has an engine in the front, then you're driving it, and you just decide to open your hood, you'll realize your hood goes flying away. But any car that has an engine in the back, when you open the hood, nothing happens. Everything that you probably can't see. The Phoenix, it's actually a car you can find in God mode in very rare circumstances. Because the roof has an upgrade to make it glass, but the glass is completely bulletproof. And yes, I realize it means it's just like a normal roof that you can see through it, but you could probably fool your friends by being like, hey bro, get into the roof, and they obviously won't be able to. I don't know. Yeah, the worst cars in GTA. Yeah, real quick, I want to talk about cars like this because, well, no one else ever talks about them. Let's say you buy a nice car and you upgrade it, and you put it all the kids, and it's just like, but the same thing is terrible car. Like, I made pictures look well as cool as this, and there's NPCs taking pictures of it. Like, I don't know if they're gonna make this thing a wallpaper or if they're gonna make this in my car, but I'll take it. The Chameleon. This is the first electric car we've talked about so far. At least we think it's electric. I mean, it looks like an electric car. It makes the noise of an electric car. Even the game's got it labeled as an electric car. But what's weird is if you open the hood, there's a whole engine under here. There's also exhaust pipes, but again, nothing comes out of them. So I don't know if this thing's electric and someone got bored and just threw an engine in here or what, but yeah, definitely strange. The Panto. Okay, so if you're anything like me, you probably crash your car a lot. And it's not like paying Los Angeles Customs to fix it is super expensive, so like it can add up. But with the Panto, you can crash this thing as many times as you want. It's possible. And when you in Los Angeles Customs, it just gets fixed. It's completely free. Why? I have no idea, but I guess I'm not complaining. The Strider. So this thing actually got removed from GTA, but there's something that's just so weird about it I still want to show you. Because you could buy this SUV for $500,000 from Legendary Sports. But when you actually got inside of it, in the bottom corner, you might notice this thing is somehow considered a sports car. And I don't know if that isn't something, but I've never heard of a stock SUV being a sports car. And like, it doesn't even look cool. Maybe if it was a Porsche or something, that's alright, but no. Literally just a mom's SUV. The Ferrari, I think, GT, and this one's super simple, so I'll just get right to the point. You can't open the trunk. You can literally open everything else, just not the trunk. I mean, I am currently spamming the button, and the trunk just doesn't open. So yeah, if you got anything in the back of this car, I'm sorry, but you're never getting it. This scramjet. So this is another one that kind of sort of God mode, I guess. Because here, for example, if I jump off Maze Bank, eventually I die, right? But with the scramjet, I could be falling from 10 times higher than Maze Bank and land straight on my head, and yet somehow I'm completely fine. It's the same thing with the caddy. You can land straight on your head, and it's basically like nothing happens. The Cernando, I think. The Cernando. So earlier we talked about V24 supercharged semi-trucks, but this SUV-looking thing apparently has a V12 in it. Just kidding. I mean, well, not really. The badge does say it has a V12, but if you pop the hood, you can pretty easily tell it ain't a V12. I mean, I think only a couple SUVs ever have a V12 in them, and yeah, this thing is definitely not one of them. Cars that are way too low. Yeah, so for this last one, I don't have any specific car, but some vehicles you can make so low, the wheel glitches through the fender. Now, to actually see this, you most likely need F1 wheels, but hey, there's no instructions on how to get F1 wheels on your cars. But wait, there is actually one more fact that's so weird, almost nobody knows it. I'm just kidding. I was gonna say you can drive over the subscribe button. Anyway, that's up to you. Also, let me know if you want a part 2, but yeah, hope you enjoyed.
Level up your gaming space with metal posters from Displays. Paint your displays in seconds. Swap them whenever you like. Get official art from your favorite games on a uniquely designed.
Hey. All right, we just gotta strip this bad boy, and then the money is all ours.
Go in here.
What the fuck?
Go in here. We're gonna be hitting arcade, the bunker, and acid lab. And I got
Path ahead is paved with diamonds.
Hello? I'll call my buddy in pharmaceuticals. Gonna cost you, but I can get what we need.
Got the money. Got the money. Money, 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 money.
You can win it with just a spin on the lucky wheel.
We got the money.
A reminder to our VIP members. Take advantage of our luxury valet, limousine, and helicopter services.
We got the money. Money, 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 money. Money. Money, 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 money.
Did you forget the...
Did I forget about Simeon? Yes, I did. Access weapons. Money. We got the money. Money. Got the money. Yeah. Money. We got the money. Money. Deliver this.
Okay, you all set?
Oh, that's not bad. Money. Here comes the money. Money. Got the money. Money, 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 money. Gotta get the money. Money, 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 money. Got the money. Money, money, money. Money, money, money.
What's up, stoners? Cupin's here with 5 more tips for new stoners. I made a video last week with 5 tips, and I asked you guys if I should make a part 2. I have a bunch of tips written down, and a lot of you commented to go ahead and make a part 2. So here it is, 5 more tips for new stoners. So my first tip is get a good piece. Don't cheap out. If you do a little bit of research and you maybe try some things out, spend a little bit more than you were planning to, you might get something that's going to be way better and last you a long time. As you can tell, I have a ton of glass, I have a ton of pieces. I've just spent so much money at head shops that, like, I feel like I have a good grasp of this. If you don't need to buy everything. As someone who's bought everything, you don't need to buy it all. A good example of this is something I talked about on my Twitch stream the other day, where I live on Twitch every night for a smoke sesh. You haven't tuned in yet? Link an Amazon Prime to a Twitch account, and you can subscribe for free and give me that Jeff Bezos money. I might spend it on more glass. What if I did a glass giveaway if we hit a certain amount of primes? I think we're close to like 1,000. Anyway, link your primes. But this is something I talked about the other day on my stream is you might want to invest a little bit more to get something solid. A good example for me is torches. I probably spent like $300 or $400 on torches before I got the torch that I've had for years. I would just go into the head shop and get whatever the discount torch was.
We need distance between us and the
I'd go to
buyers
the
this
Harbor
time.
Freight and get the
You're making
$8
dead
torch
drops
from
around the
there.
state.
But I did end
Pick
up
up a
buying a ton of them from the head shop, so just weren't any good. Little butane can toppers, little small torches. Most torches out there aren't that great. The only torch that I can recommend is the Blazer Big Shot. It's like an $80, $90 torch, but I've had the same one since 2016 and it works still. And they also got like another new teal one that works amazing. So it costs more than any of the other torches I bought, but if you add up all of the torches that I bought that I can't use anymore, it's way cheaper. And this is true. This has happened to me with glass before. I just went into the head shop, got the cheapest piece a few times, and like it just breaks over time. It's the flimsiest glass, or it's just like not the easiest to maintain. There's some really weak, really thin glass out there. If you roll into the head shop and shell out some cash for the cheapest Rick and Morty bong they have in there, you're probably not getting a good one. So sometimes spending a little bit more will get you something that's gonna last you a long time. The beaker bong that I use almost every day, I got like 3 years ago, and it's still like in perfect condition. I use this example in another video, but e-rigs. I have so many e-rigs that just don't hit that great. I have over $2,000 in e-rigs, and there's only like one that I really recommend. But it costs a bit more than the others, but there's reasons I would recommend it over the others. It's the Puffco Peak Pro, if you were wondering. Just a better battery, better than all the other ones. I think there's going to be a better option or a cheaper option coming soon. Somebody's got to beat Puffco. My next tip, and this kind of plays into the last one, but clean your piece every day. If you're using a glass piece, which is what I do every day, if you're using like a glass bong or something, clean it every day. It's easier to clean if you clean it every day. If you wait weeks or months, it's like a chore to clean. It's really, really hard. Most people that struggle with cleaning their bong just waited way too long to clean it. And all the resin, everything on the inside is just going to start staining your glass and become harder and harder to clean the longer you let it sit. So get yourself a nice piece, but maintain it. Keep it clean every day. If you clean your piece every day, it takes a minute or two. If you wait 3, 4, or 5 weeks to clean your piece, it's going to take you a while. And you probably won't get it as clean as you could if you just maintained it a little bit every day. A couple of spritz and 91% ISO from Walgreens, it's going to be easily cleaned. And I don't really use papers, but that's one of the benefits of smoking out of papers. You spend 99 cents, you get 50 raw papers, you get a fresh, clean piece of paper every time. I mean, it's not as clean as smoking out of clean glass, but you get what I'm saying. Keep your piece or your glass clean, but if it has a removable downstem, that's where a lot of the buildup is going to occur. Keep that clean. And keep your bowl clean. There's a lot of people out there who clean their bong pretty often, or they keep the piece clean, but they just don't clean their bowl. And they're going to put like a resin-caked bowl in a freshly cleaned piece and then pack it with fresh green and then hit it. Your piece is dirty. It's like changing all your clothes on the outside, but you've been wearing the same underwear for weeks. Bro, clean your bowl. My next tip is focus on breathing when you hit. Before I really got into smoking regularly, I practiced and studied Tai Chi, and I thought a lot about breathing. This is something I was talking about last night on my Twitch stream, but I thought about breathing a lot before I ever even started smoking. I mean, meditating is literally just sitting there with a specific breathing pattern and just thinking about breathing. So I would meditate on my bong rip. But usually before I take a big rip, and I think a big rip is better than just taking like a casual little puff here and there. But when I take a big rip, I do big hits of oxygen before. I do nice deep breaths. I want to fill my lungs completely and then exhale completely. And I think exhaling completely is an important step that a lot of people don't really focus on. But it will help you to minimize coughing and minimize harshness in your throat. But a lot of people can enhance their hit if they focus on just a few deep breaths before, like stretch your lungs out, get them ready for smoke. And also think about the fact that when you're taking your rip, you're not really pulling in oxygen into your lungs. You might pull in like a pieceful, like a bong full of oxygen. When your lungs start to fill up with smoke, if your blood isn't really oxygenated, you're going to start feeling that sensation like you're running out of breath. So before you take a big hit, take a nice big hit of air. Take a few of them. Get your lungs ready. Get your blood nice and oxygenated. Get ready for a huge hit. Inhale fully. And some people, they don't really get a full inhale. Just know that when you smoke, when you do huge hits, you might not get it all. I'm not saying you're going to do like a full mouth hit, but when the hit is so big, sometimes you can't quite pull in all the smoke you produce. I've done huge combusted rips off like my 30-inch beaker, packing 3 bowls on there, where you're just inhaling and inhaling and the smoke never stops. Sometimes you can't inhale every last drop, but try to inhale as much of it as you can because that's what's getting you high. A good way to get into this, especially if you're new, is don't take the biggest hit that you can. Take like a medium hit and then inhale a little bit of oxygen after, so you know what that feels like when it goes completely in. It's also okay when you're taking a huge monstrous rip if the piece that you have is just constantly producing smoke. If you keep pulling, eventually you're just going to hit the wall. And you didn't hit the wall, that kept going in your mouth. It's still coming out of the piece. So sometimes on the bigger hits, you'll have a little bit of a mouth hit in there. But focus on breathing it in completely as much as you can. And then after that, you don't have to hold it. You don't have to like lock in the hit or anything or hold on to it for a minute. People do crazy stuff with their hits. Focus on a good exhale. You want to do a full breath with the smoke. Full in and then the full out. And I mean like focus on your exhale. Try to get every last bit of smoke out. One of the things that makes people cough is they do a shallow exhale. So when they go to inhale again, they haven't got all the smoke out of their lungs. So it's in there just irritating their lungs. It feels like maybe you got most of the smoke out, but you didn't get it all unless you fully exhaled. And you can notice this or you can feel this a little bit more. If you like take a big hit and you try to talk when you exhale, you got air coming out of your mouth, you got your vocal cords vibrating with smoke traveling over it. That's going to irritate you a little bit and make you more likely to cough. So if you fully exhale all the smoke, you're going to have less possible irritation from the lingering smoke in your lungs. So focus on your breathing for your hit, before your hit, during your hit, and then after. Getting a nice exhale, completely removing all the smoke from your lungs from your hit, and make that next breath afterwards just a little bit easier. My next tip, and tip number 4 I think we're on, but you don't always have to be doing something when you're high. I feel like at one point, every time I was trying to censor, I always had like an activity figured out. I always had like a game pulled up and I was ready to get into it on the start screen or something. Or I had a movie queued up and I was ready to watch it, or a show ready. Or I was like on my way to go to like a hike or something. Smoking can improve some activities. Obviously it makes the shows better, games better, movies better. But you don't always have to be doing something when you're high. Sometimes it's nice to just smoke and relax. Sometimes that really, really good high, you just took a monster rip and you're just staring at the wall for a few minutes, just chilling, just in the zone of I'm high. I feel like for me, when I can get into that or when I can tap into doing nothing when I'm high, I really feel the high. Like after you take a huge rip or something, sometimes it's okay to just sit there and bask in the moment, soak it in, really feel the high. If you're focused on doing something or watching something, you might not really enjoy that super relaxing high. Because for me, like, getting high is one of the most relaxing things. I feel like all day I'm constantly thinking about, all right, I gotta do this, what can I do? Can I post over here? Can I reply to these messages? I gotta check my email, I'm a couple weeks behind. I haven't read the Instagram DMs in 6 weeks. Sometimes there's just so much noise in my brain that when I take that first hit, it's like, oh, it's like a shell just came off of me, and I can really relax, sit in a chair and enjoy the moment. Sometimes it's nice to do nothing with more and just be high. Okay, my last tip, I think we're on tip number 5. I haven't really been doing a great job of counting those. If you want me to do 5 more tips, leave me a comment. I have a bunch of them down. My My next tip, and this is a bit of a controversial one, but you need to hear it. Say no to tobacco. Look, I get it. You can light them both on fire and smoke them both. They can be treated similarly. Stop mixing tobacco with your weed. You're ruining it. Like, I think we all know that blunts are trash. Like, bro, wrap it around your bud and you feel like it's better. No, it's worse. I don't care how many artificial flavors you cram in there. It's worse. No, bro, just take it to the sink and scrub it up, and then it's totally good. It's worse. Putting tobacco in your bowls, like chops and mole bowls, or like splits, bro. People that smoke splits. What are you doing? I mean, I've done them all. I think some of my first sessions were off blunts. I've done mole bowls or chops or whatever you want to call them. I've tried a lot of the things, but I can see for a lot of people, it's not the way to go. There's so many people out there that just start session with blunts. They just pull up to the smoke circle and their friend hands them a blunt, and every time they go to get high, it's just a blunt. There's a lot of people out there that associate smoking weed with it's got to be in a blunt. They don't have a glass piece, they don't have a pipe, a bubbler, a bong, nothing like that. It's just let me go get some swishers and roll it up. Now, as a new stoner, I would advise just avoiding any tobacco completely. Because you're getting like a combination of two things. You're smoking the weed, but like, you're smoking tobacco. Tobacco, I think, is way worse than smoking weed. And then it's also going to have like a layer of addiction. There's so many people out there, they can't get high blunt wrap because they're addicted to the tobacco. Like the weed doesn't do anything unless they got the tobacco on it. Or it doesn't give them that same sensation that they look for every day when they're just feeding into their nicotine addiction. So as a new stoner, I highly recommend just cut the blunts out. Say no to blunts, say no to spliffs, say no to mobiles, say no to chops. If somebody's like, yeah, let's mix tobacco in it, say, how much do you hate the weed? Either way, let me know if I should drop a part 3. Come smoke with me on Twitch. If it's after 9 p.m. Eastern, I'm probably live right now getting high. Where you at? And if you missed my first video of 5 tips for new stoners, check out this video right here. These are the 5 tips that preceded these 5 tips. Have a good day, my dudes.
Well, at least some of the shipment got to the buyers. If they lose their war, you're to blame.
Yeah. Well, the big one being that civilizations have experienced many different eras, and that what we're looking at when we look back thousands and thousands of years is the most latest of eras. But there
Hey, tale of us are calling in a favour. Want some of their buddies brought into town to come to the club. You think you can go and collect them in the chopper?
Yo, what's good? Welcome back. It's your boy, Kush Coda. Today, we're going to be talking about going to the dispensary. Now, I know going to the dispensary might be like a normal thing for some people, but for a lot of people, it's brand new.
Nigga, this shit will change your life.
For like Michigan, we've only been rec for like a little over 3 years, so it's not like I've been going to the dispensary for that long. I've been taking weed for way longer than I've been going to the dispensary. Hey, for today's video, I just wanted to give you guys like a couple little tips and tricks on how to shop better, how to have a better experience. You guys already know, before we can get too deep in the video, we gotta get high.
Took long enough.
Right? This is what everybody came to see. So, while I light this up, you guys go ahead and do me a favor. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, leave a comment, do all like the little YouTube stuff for me real quick. It'll take me like 20 seconds. Alright, now we're good to go. So first things first, don't try to go to the dispensary. But don't bring a fake ID. Don't try to use your brother's ID, none of that stuff. Just wait. Do it. It's not like the bar will just look at your ID real quick and boom, tell you to go. The dispensary really pays attention. They're really scanning your ID to make sure it's not fake. They're really they're on top of it. Rule number one, which definitely have to be, if you're not old enough, don't go. If you're not old enough, why are you even watching the video? For one. But if you're of age, make sure you bring your ID. I don't know how many times I've been in the dispensary and I always hear somebody going through their purse or checking their wallet and they're like, guess I can't get in, I forgot it. No, you know how bad that's gotta suck? You just drove 10, 20, 30 minutes all the way to the store. So if you live in an illegal state, you probably even drove farther. So you drove all that way just to find out. Dummy mission. Don't be that guy. So first, bring the ID.
Alright, that's good for the trace, I guess. Here's McLovin, the 25-year-old Hawaiian organ donor.
This is another one. Before you get to the dispensary, grab your ID, go to the bank. Go to the bank, grab some money out. What this is going to do, this is going to save you a couple bucks. I'm going to put you guys on game. When you go to the dispensary, right, you got to pay with cash. 99% of dispensaries, you got to pay with cash. Cash only. So since it's still federally illegal, most banks and most cards don't mess with weed. So that being said, dispensaries can't run credit cards. They can't run debit cards. So what do? They have an ATM. What does that ATM do? It charges you a ridiculous fee to pull your money out. If you guys know, there's nothing worse than going to the ATM and pay $5 to get your money out.
I got this shit. Okay?
Nobody wants to do that. So stop at the bank, grab you some money out, and then hit the dispensary. Let's do some math real quick, guys. So we go to the dispensary every Friday we get off work, we go hit the dispensary. And every week we got to pay that $5 fee. At the end of the year, we just threw away $250. That's like a free ounce a week. You guys are giving away an ounce a week for not stopping at the bank. Think about that shit. I bet you guys stop at the bank next time. Another thing to do before you even leave the house, I guess this would be before you go to the bank. So sorry guys, this isn't in chronological order. The next thing to do, check the menu online. You guys know where you're going, like you guys just don't hop in the car and just randomly go. You guys know what dispensary you're going. Check the menu online. See what they got, because you don't want to, you don't want to drive all the way there just to find out they don't have what you want. It's crazy guys, right? You might go somewhere and they might not have what you want. I've been to a dispensary and they don't sell rosin.
They're just plain fucking stupid, man.
They just don't sell rosin. So what if I would have made the trip there looking just for some rosin, and I would have got there, all they had was shatter and rosin.
We just should have called.
I would have been pissed, right? So that's definitely a big one. Check the menu online, guys. Check to see if that store is in your price range. Check to see if they have, the product that you want, the brands that you like. There's a bunch of things you can see online. You can check their deals. That's one of the huge things about checking online. You're going to see the deals. They're going to have it posted. They're going to let you know what vendors are going to be there, what sales are going on. You might even be able to get like an online special. So check that. The next tip I got for you guys, Be prepared. Know what you're going in there for.
Some motherfucking marijuana, man?
You don't just walk into Walmart with no idea what you're doing. You don't end up in the toy section when you really need a tire. You know what I mean? Like, you have a plan on what you're getting. And I know you guys think, well, I'm just getting some weed. Right. But it's way more than that. It's like saying, I'm just getting some food. Well, are you getting some cheese? Are you getting some strawberries? It's completely different. So know what you're getting. Are you getting flour? Are you getting vapes? Are you getting edibles? What are you going to grab? It's not that you have to have your whole list already planned out, because you might walk in and see something that, really catches your eye, or something that, more importantly, really catches your nose. But we'll get into that later. But you know what I mean? You might go in there and find something that you didn't know you wanted. But it's just a little easier if you go in and the person's like, hey, what are you shopping for? And you're not just like, I don't know. But if you go in there and be like, yeah,
Can I buy some pot from you?
I'm looking for an ounce of flour, or I'm looking for a quarter of flour and a pack of edibles. Just kind of have like a little grocery list going on. It'll make your buying experience, and it'll make the bartender's job 10 times easier. You got your list ready, you got your ID, you get to the bank, you pull up to the dispensary, right? Once you're in the dispensary, disguise. Prepare to be a little overwhelmed. Your first time, it's a little, it's a little intimidating. You're walking in and you're seeing these jars of weed everywhere, these edibles, you're seeing vapes you probably never even hit, you don't know what rosin and resin is. I know, it's a little intimidating. Just take a deep breath, it's gonna be okay. Your bartender is literally there just to help you.
Welcome to the Continental. How may I help you?
It's not like Walmart where you're wandering the aisles and you have no idea what's going on. It's a little easier. You have somebody that's going to walk with you step by step and show you exactly what you need. And that's like the blessing of bartenders. It's your own personal helper.
What the hell is he doing?
He's shopping.
Just imagine like walking into the store and you have your own personal shopper to help you. You know what I mean? Like, you're getting ready for Thanksgiving, you've never made an apple pie. You don't know what you're doing, right?
I got beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes.
But you're in the store and you have somebody that's literally walking you step by step. Like, hey, grab the crust, grab the brown sugar, grab the cinnamon, grab the apples, grab this, grab that.
Lamb, rams, hogs, dogs, chicken, turkey.
That's what a bartender is there for. A bartender is there to make sure you get everything that you need. So you've been through your training. A good bartender is trained to help every type of person, right? Whether it's the 6-year-old lady that, just wants a little help sleeping, or it's the 21-year-old frat guys that, just want to have a good night at the house. A good bartender can literally help all of those people. So you can do your thing. So now, we're in the dispensary, we're talking to our bartender, we're figuring out, what we want to get. This is stop. You gotta stop right now. Because this is what I see every new person do. Not even new. This is what I see every uneducated person do in the dispensary. Yeah, bro, so what's the highest THC? Yep, let me get that. No, that's not how it works. Shopping about the highest THC is literally the wrong way to go about it. Just throw that out the window. That is the wrong way to do it. What you really want to do, if you're going to shop by numbers, guys, these will be the numbers I would shop by. Number one has to be price. Find something that's going to be in your budget, because you can go into a dispensary and find a $10 aid, and you can also go into that same dispensary and find a $60 aid. Not everything is going to be in your budget. So one, find your budget. If you're trying to find a bargain, let the bartender know you're trying to find a bargain. If you're trying to find something nice and exotic, let him know that too, because he might think that you're trying to buy a $50 ounce, and really you're trying to buy a $50 aid. So one, price. Two, the harvest date. Think about it. You don't want old weed. It's just not going to be as good. Over time, THC converts to the CBD. So it's going to change your effect. So I always try to find the freshest weed you can. You don't want to get home, open the bag, grab some buds, go to a little joint. You can break it down, and it instantly turns into dust. It's old bud, guys. You don't want that. Ask them what the harvest date is. It's going to be fresher. It's probably going to taste better. Now, after you find out the price and you find out about the harvest date, ask about the trips, guys. If it has a higher trip percentage, that means the taste and the smell are going to be higher, guys. Trip percentage, honestly, is overlooked by a lot of companies. But every once in a while, you got to get a good company that do test it. And if you can find a high one, anything over that 2.5%, 3% mark, I would go ahead and grab that. And while we're talking about tips, if you can, guys, smell the product before you buy it.
Man, that shit smell pretty fresh.
Honestly, guys, the best way to pick your bags would be to smell it. They have a saying that says, the nose knows. And honestly, guys, that's the best way to smell. Smell the bag.
Living here.
Yes. If your bartender opens up the jar and you instantly smell it and it just smells amazing to you, grab that.
It's like God's vagina.
At that point, guys, the name's not important. The THC percentage is important. Your body wants that. You might think you're an indica guy or a sativa guy or a runs guy or a cookies guy. Your body knows. Your body knows more than anything what it likes. So if you open the bag and it smells good, try it out. I promise you guys, you'll like it. That's how I personally shop. Now I know some states, they don't let you smell products before you get it.
Oh, you suck at this.
And so unfortunately, you guys are left with having to buy it first and then smell it. But remember that smell, guys. Remember, like, oh no, I know for sure I like fruity smelling weed, or I like candy weed, or gassy, or cheesy, or lemony. Remember what smells you like. Because just because it says 26%, it might be 26% and smell and taste just like oranges, which personally, not my favorite. Or it might be 26% and smell just like gasoline, which, that's a little more my speed. But the nose knows. If it smells good, buy that shit, though. Alright, so the joint's almost done, so we're just going to go over everything one more time, real quick. First, check the website, make a list. Then, grab your ID, go to the bank. Once you hit the bank, go to the dispensary. Once you get to the dispensary, talk to the bud tender. Bypass the THC, check the harvest date, check the terps, check the price. Once you get all that, open up the bag, see what smells good. And I promise guys, if you follow that, you'll have a great experience every time. And lastly, this might be more important than almost anything. Tip the bud tender, guys.
Give me my money.
Those guys could be the reason you have a shitty week smoking bad weed, or you guys have a good week smoking weed that you really like. So remember, tip your bud tender, because they're really helping you out. That's going to be about it, guys. If you made it this far, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I got some big news coming up, so watch this video. But this next video, guys, is going to be huge. I promise you. So until then, I'm Chris Dalcota, guys. Peace.
Laters.
That's good, but yeah.
Nice, dude. Those parts would be easy money. So watch this.
Easy money. Easy money all day. Fine. Just remember, double money if you're going to fill up that safe, so you gotta check it every 2 hours, otherwise you're gonna lose some money. Money, money, money!
This is a good party. I didn't know you party like this in LS.
Oh yeah. Party hottie! Cause we got the money! Money, 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 money! Get the fuck out of my club. Money, 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 money.
Boss, in-house.
Ah.
Ants are all sticky.
No kidding.
Money, 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 money. Ah.
What would you say is the best job for somebody who likes to blaze? We talked about worst jobs the other day, but I want to hear from you. What do you think is the best job? Because there's a lot of jobs out there, but not a lot of them are suitable for somebody who likes to get high. And I do want to say, never let the fact that you want to get high stop you from being successful. Don't let it. It's wild. It's crazy to think about. But also on the same page,
Just
I
gonna
think
do
if
this
doesn't
real
want
quick and
me
then
to
that.
get high, I don't want the job. Just know this list is super serious and all of these answers are scientifically proven. But number one on the list, we talked about lawyers being one of the worst jobs for somebody who likes to get high. I think in the same room, we're in the same courtroom here, I think the judge has got to be a stoner. I don't want the person who's defending me to be high. But the person who decides, the judge, I don't know about the jury here. Maybe this isn't a jury case. I'm not too familiar with the legal system, but the judge. Sometimes the judge just decides everything. I want them to be chill like that. You walk in the courtroom, the judge has dreads, you might be getting an easier sentence. Also, like, you don't do crime. No crimes, guys. Don't commit crimes so you don't have to worry about whether your judge is chill like that or not. Or you don't have to freak out because you accidentally hired a lawyer who You know what? Kind of smells like mids on the way in. Number 2 on the list. I don't know if these are numbered. I'm just gonna rapid fire you with some answers. But creator, my type of job. YouTuber, Twitch streamer. How many hours on Twitch I do a session every night at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. But Twitch is free. People tell me all the time they don't want to join the Twitch stream because they don't want to pay money. It's free. If you have Amazon Prime, you can also support me for free. But creator, and this could be film creator, and even leads into my next answer of like artists and entertainers. Some of them are creators, some of them are more just performers. But like a painter, a musician, like if I have to sit around all day and try to come up with some songs or something that I think are gonna bang, I gotta be high. Like music sounds better when I'm lit, so I'm gonna assume that I could make better music if I'm lit. Same with painting, like I'm gonna do a better job, I think, if I'm blasted. Artist, entertainer, singer. I don't know if you want to do like a fat rip before you go sing something, but I bet if you look at a lot of artists and entertainers and then you ask them, do you smoke? They'll say, smoke what? Not cigarettes, right? Also, artist, entertainer, could be like a writer, like somebody who's writing a novel. I don't know if I could just sit here and type for hours and hours trying to come up with stuff if I'm not lit. Which, while I wasn't really writing books or anything, I used to do work as a blogger. I would sit at my computer all day and clack, clack, clack away, just typing. You finish a post, you finish a page, it's let's do a fat rip so I can write another one. I will say the coffee got me to the computer and got me started on the writing, but taking fat hits kept me at the desk and kept me going. Also in that, like other computer stuff, web design, a web developer, you're making a website, take a few hits before you get started because it's going to come out better and you're going to have a much easier time doing it. Now this one's an easy answer, I probably could have put it first, but anytime you're in the 420 space, getting a job at a legal shop as a bud tender or trimmer or grower, getting a job at a head shop just selling pipes, those places exclusively do not care if you're getting high. And honestly, you might get a discount on the stuff that you use to do it. I do have to point out that I worked a bunch of jobs and working as a bud tender was not my favorite. But I've talked to some people and they seem to really like it. I really think it depends on the customer base and where your store is located. Because these shops are so different between states and between different levels of legality. Some places are just so chill and so relaxed compared to other places that are like super corporate business. Make sure you get the sticker in the right spot, double, triple check their ID, make sure blah, 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 blah. Or something like that. Now, next one on the list, this is probably number 17. I'm not done. But everybody at a restaurant when you go, everybody there is high. I'm pretty sure. The person who seats you, the host, the person who takes your order, the server, the person who makes your food, the cook, the person who cleans up after you eat, the busser. Right before the dinner rush, they were all session behind the dumpster in the back. Now, you're probably not going to be one of those cool guy waiters that goes up to the table of like 8 to 10 people and just like doesn't write it down and takes everybody's order. What did you want? And what did you want? And what did you want? Yeah, I'm not writing this down. I am Justin Long in that one movie. Waiting? And I am super cool and I can remember all this. I actually had a waiter do this the other day. It was so funny. There wasn't that many of them. I think there was 5 or 6 of them. Brothers just taking our orders, not writing it down. I didn't write any of that down. We're like, yeah, bro, it's so cool. And like, he just took our drink order and he forgot like one of the drinks and he messed up one. Like, it was like 5 or 6 drinks and he messed it up. I thought it was funny. We were talking about how cool it's gonna be. Like, oh, he's one of those guys who's like that. All of our drinks, no issue. He comes back, was it did you want a Sprite or a water? Was it, I couldn't remember, it was a Sprite or a water. I can't remember, it was clear, I think. So you're probably not going to remember 10 people's order as a server if you're a super lit. It doesn't take that much. I was thinking about this, and some people might think that food critic, the person who like rates and reviews food and tells you what's good and bad, would be like a good job for a stoner or somebody. But I don't think so, bro. Like, when I'm lit, like, the stuff that's not good is good. Stuff that's okay is amazing. Like, if you get really high and you start trying to do, like, food reviews, you're giving everything a 10 out of 10. Like, it's gonna be like, oh, bro, I put crumbled Cheetos on some shredded cheese on top of the tortilla and I ate it, bro. 12 out of 10. It was the best food ever. You try that when you're not high and you're like, what did I eat? I really ate this? There's some meals out there where I ate it while I was high and it's like, oh my god, bro. And then you think about it later, you're like, I'm not eating that. Nah, that's not for me. I'm gonna skip that one. Trust me. A peanut butter and olive sandwich is gonna be lit. So I don't know, a food critic would be like an ideal job for you, right? If you want to get high and eat a bunch of food, but I don't know if you're gonna do like the best job. We got a lot of fun here, but I gotta remind you, come get lit with me on Twitch. We do a session every night. Also, check out my new podcast, the High Chat Podcast. We got like a dozen episodes out. But the last shit on the list, this is like a bonus. It's a super serious answer. But teacher, your teacher. Now hear me out. It's not every teacher. It's not every subject. English teacher, gotta be high. Math teacher, no thanks. PE teacher, definitely. Make them twice as high. Music teacher, of course, obvious. Art teacher, definitely. Science teacher, I'm gonna go ahead and say maybe. Depends on the day. What are we talking about that day? What other subjects do they have in school? Basket weaving? History? History, you gotta blaze. Either way, that's the list. Come get lit with me on Twitch. Have a lit day, my dudes.
Hey! Bye.
If you were to look at my gas bill, I live in Florida, I don't have any gas appliances. If you were to look at my gas bill, it would say $0. I literally don't have a gas bill. But if you were to look at my green bill, I'm getting that gas. If you were to look at my green bill, stop calling everything gas. You'd scratch your head and go, bro, I wish I could link my Amazon Prime to my Twitch account so I could give this guy free money every month on Amazon's dime. If you were to look at my herb bill, you would go, bro, this guy's crazy. But I'm telling you, if I didn't have a system in place to try to not spend even more, bro, the bill would be twice as much, 3 times as much easy. I'm here to give you some tips on how to save money on green. Save green on green. You know what I'm talking about. Well, look, real quick, I'm doing a 12-hour session tomorrow on Twitch to celebrate 40 years as a Twitch partner. You get lit every night, but tomorrow's 12 hours. Don't miss it. I'm here with the 5 basic tips that I use that are going to spend so much money on the set. And the first one you might have saw coming. Glass over paper. All about efficiency, all about using less to get more high. And the paper is a way to use more to get less high. You're going through so much more flour. You get a big old fatty roll. It looks cool. It's fun for a picture. And you're just burning your money away. Getting yourself a nice glass piece and maintaining it will cost a little bit upfront, right? It's way more expensive than papers. Papers are super cheap. But you get a nice glass piece and you maintain it, it's going to get you higher. And you're not going to have to use as much material. That's just how it works. You get a nice big old rip off a glass piece that smooths it out. Not only is it going to be smoother and nicer, you're going to use less and you're going to get higher. That should be an easy one. And if you don't want to abandon papers completely, just use glass more often than you do now. Tip number 2, and this will kind of play into tip number 3. I had to break these up a little bit. But number 2 is to shop smart. If you're just like, hey, bro, I'm out, and you go to the store, and they don't have a deal that day, you're overpaying. If you're at the mercy of, oh, I just ran out and I gotta go get some now, chances are you're not getting the best deal. Some people plan ahead. Certain shops have a deal on flour every Friday, or they do a couple of deals a month. But if you just walk into any shop, the way a lot of these places do their prices is they charge so much and then you like have to wait for the sale and it's like 30-40% off. I'm always like, bro, if I had to buy groceries like this, if a gallon of milk was just like $9 and I had to wait for the one day it was $4, it would be wild. But that's how it is with a lot of these legal shops. So shop smart. And another thing I gotta mention is you don't
I'm
always
about
have to
to
get the
blow
tops
your
out. Try
freak.
the smalls out. Try some of the variety out. If they have a tiered system, sometimes that top tier is just overpriced. It's always going to be that price, but it's not always going to be that good. And when you start getting into that middle tier, or the smalls, or the popcorn bud at some places, well, this is literally of the shops that I go to, they sell regular 8s and then they sell smalls and quarters, and they're about the same price. And literally, if you open up one of the 8s that's not any smalls, and then you open up one of the smalls, it looks the same. It looks the same. Some places really go out of their way to put the tiny little small butts in there, but not all of them. Realistically, in a lot of cases, the small boats are better. Nice and frosty, less stem weight. Tip number 3, I had to separate this one, but it plays along with tip 2, and it's to buy in bulk. So you're shopping for the deals, but sometimes buying a lot and planning out your sessions is going to help you save money instead of just having whatever and going through whatever. But I do have to put a caveat in there. If you find a deal and you can buy in bulk, don't get all of the same thing. This is why it's a separate tip. I've done this many times before. You just get ounces and ounces of the same flavor because it was such a deal. You saved money initially, but I'm telling you, if you don't have anything to mix it up or to switch around or any variety in there, you're going to start using more and more of whatever flavor you got. One time I got like ounces and ounces of Gorilla Glue live resin, and bro, it was so good. It was so good, but then after several grams of it, I'm like, bro, I could dab a gram of this and feel nothing. So buy in bulk, but make sure you're getting variety. Don't get all the same flavor, and even mix it up with flour and concentrate. Sometimes having variety to go back and forth between can just get you higher. Sometimes you need 3 hits off the flour bowl, but you're only going to need 1 hit of concentrate. So tips 2 and 3, shop smart, find deals, buy in bulk, but make sure you get variety. That will help you get higher off your supply and not have to go back to the store as well. Number 4, you knew this one was coming. You knew it was coming. But stop the wake and bakes. Stop the wake and bakes. Stop the I'm trying to sesh all day. You really got to learn how to moderate yourself. You really got to learn. That is one of the number 1 tips to not only manage your tolerance and make sure you get super high every time you sesh, but it's a great way to make sure you're not spending a ton of money. Like the initial way that I came up with my tolerance fix that I talked to a lot of people about, the initial way I came up with it is I was just spending way too much money on flour. I didn't have enough money to overdo it and to just not get high anymore. I didn't have enough money to do that, really. But just spacing the sessions out, waiting until after 9 has been huge for me. I usually wait till 9 p.m. Eastern when my Twitch stream starts, and that's why I do almost all of my sessions. So stop the wake and bake, stop trying to get high all day. It sounds weird, but the less you smoke, the more high you get. The less amount of time you're trying to be high, the higher you're going to get in that time. So if you're trying to be high 16 hours a day, you can't even get past a 5 out of 10 high. But if you only need to be high for a few hours a day, you can get 9, you can get 10 out of 10 high every day for most people. Here's tip number 5, and then I actually thought of a bonus tip we can give you right after. But number 5 is pack smaller bowls. If you're packing a huge bowl for yourself and you're hitting it multiple times over and over again, try packing a smaller bowl. Sometimes you pack a huge bowl and now it turns into, well, I gotta finish this bowl I packed. But on flour bowls, don't corner bowls, especially with yourself. Pack a 1-hitter, pack whatever you need. But maybe pack a little bit less. Your dabs, you scoop and concentrate. Most people are wasting a good amount of concentrate when they're done. Dab a little bit less. Try doing a little bit less in your hits, especially if you're doing a longer set. You don't care about that glass over paper tip. You're going to be rolling papers anyway. Roll them a little bit smaller. You roll those big old fatty J's, those things just burn so much flour. But there's a lot of people out there rolling up just a little bit too big, packing their bowls just a little bit too fat, just throwing a little bit more concentrate on the nail than they need. And you know what? Sometimes that little bit extra just goes to waste if you didn't nail it. Alright, the last tip before I let you go, this is a bonus tip. It's not going to apply to everybody. But grow your own or find a grower friend. Because they always need help. They got a harvest, they got a bunch of stuff to trim. They're not going to be able to pay you in cash, but if you're okay with getting paid in grass, you might get some good stuff. Unless your friend sucks at growing, then find another grower friend. Either way, leave me a comment. Let me know any tips that you use to save money. Did I miss anything? Should I make another video of more tips? I had a bunch of stuff written down, but I had to stop it here, eh? Alright, come get lit with me on Twitch. I'll see you later.
Wow! And you made great time on a bike. You were on the yayo, right?
What's up? Hey, you got the serious look today, boss. Funtime, huh? Heard from Yusuf. He's, excited about the next car.
One of the things I get asked about a lot on my Twitch stream is, do I need an expensive grinder? And this is a pretty good question because there's a lot of variety out there for grinders and there's a lot of options. So I kind of want to hear from you guys. If you want to leave me a comment, let me know how much you spent on your grinder and how good it is, because most people, they don't get a lot of grinders.
Cool
they don't try
car,
out
man.
10,
Let's
20,
get it.
30
Now,
different
my
ones
tip
to
for
find
this
the
one is
right
going to
one.
take
They
us
just get
right
one
back
that does
to the
job,
Maze
and
Bank
as
Arena.
long as it doesn't
The
give many
Duggins have
problems,
another
that's
halftime
their
show on,
grinder. Well,
and
I've
this car
actually
is
used
the
a lot of different
centerpiece,
ones.
man.
I know there's some out there I
Apparently,
haven't
it was
used.
the one they
It
use
can
in
be
that
wild,
commercial
right?
for
Just
Redwood
adding to your
cigarettes.
collection,
You know,
trying to
where they
try
run over the
everything.
dude who's
Especially when you
vaping.
can't monetize the damn
Yusuf
content
freaking
on
loves that
YouTube.
commercial, man.
Look, if you're
He'll
watching
pay you
this
good
video
for
and you
this
like
car,
the
for
content, come
sure.
get high with me on my Twitch stream. The session's at 9 p.m. Eastern. And if you have Amazon Prime, you can support me for free with the Jeff Bezos weed money. But I've actually been using a really nice grinder since early this year, and I am super thrilled with it. It was actually a recommendation from a bunch of different people in my Twitch chat. I had other creators recommend it, and if you go through and you look up a bunch of lists on best grinders, if you're not on one of those garbage websites where they didn't actually try anything out and you find the people that use the stuff, most people recommend the grinder that I have, and I think it's really good. I got a Grinders for Life Brilliant Cut grinder. I can't really show it here or link it here, but you know we got a coupons code on it. If you want a direct link, type !grinder in my Twitch chat or Discord, and there should be a link to it there. YouTube doesn't ding us. But I've been using their larger grinder. I like the larger ones. Whatever grinder I'm using, I'm gonna want to use the bigger ones. The small ones, I don't know. It doesn't do it for me. I need to put a lot of bud in there. I need to have something bigger to turn in my hands. I got bigger hands. I need a bigger grinder. Now, I'll say that probably for the most part, you might not need an expensive grinder, but you do want to be careful with a lot of the cheap grinders out there. I've seen so many where it's bad, bro. Now, I did have a little bit of experience with the flour mill last year, and that one had some issues with metal shavings in it. I know they came out with an update, but I tried the updated version, and I had the same issues, so I don't really mess with that one anymore. But there was another toothless grinder that came out this year. I can't remember what it was called, but it was kind of expensive. If you know the name of that one, leave a comment, because I've been looking for it. I, for the life of me, can't remember the name. But a toothless grinder, that's not the flour mill. But I've had a lot of experience with cheap grinders that makes me a little bit worried. I got one not too long ago. I did a little unboxing on my Twitch stream, and one of the grinders that I got in the box was painted. I'm like looking at it like, is that paint on there? And I rubbed two pieces of the grinder together, and I just saw paint shavings right inside the grinder where your flour would be, and I went, oh, this is toxic. So you do want to avoid the ones that are like multicolored, that look like they're painted. If it looks like it's painted, it probably is. If it's like a solid color aluminum, it might just be anodized aluminum, and that's fine. But if you're getting one and it's like a bunch of it's got spots on it or a super cool design, ask yourself, is this painted? Because a lot of people that sell stuff, especially online, you're getting stuff on Amazon and Temu and eBay and places like that, they're not testing out the stuff they're selling you. They see a picture and they go, oh, I can make that. Ooh, let's make mine cooler by painting it. So you gotta be careful with some of the stuff out there. But the grinder that I've been using for most of this year, the Brilliant Cut, is really nice, and one of the best things about it is it gives you options for your grind plate. You can get small, medium, or large holes on there if you're looking for a finer ground flour or a more coarse ground. Now, I prefer finer ground flour if you're using like a vaporizer or something like that. I think you get better airflow around more of the bud if it's in smaller pieces. And I think if you use like wraps and rolls, the larger grind plate, the more coarse flour, helps it to burn a little bit slower. I know a lot of people like to break up their wraps and rolls by hand, but I think using a more coarse grinder gives you a similar result. And then the regular size is just like your standard old, it works pretty good and everything. But for the most part, I've just been using the hammer, so we just use the finer plate on there. And the quality is so good. Now, they do make 3-piece grinders only, which is my favorite style of grinder. I know some people like the 4-piece so they can have a keef catch, but I could just go to the store and get fresh keef, and I don't have to worry about some 9-month-old keef that I've been saving and saving. So they make 3-piece grinders, and one of the cool things is they do have a lot of colors for it. They're not painted, but they do have anodized aluminum, so you can get like a multicolor. You can pick the colors of the 3 pieces that you want. I thought this was cool because I've never seen that before on a grinder site. Sometimes we'll have a couple of color options, but you can literally choose your top plate color, your middle grind plate color, and then the bottom color where your flour collects. I think that's cool. The one that I use mostly is gold.
Can I help you? Does it matter? Why? No, I got him. And it's a little too cold to be outside right now anyways. It's not even 50 degrees yet. Bye. Oh, I'm telling you now. I'll take them out when it's warmer.
With a black plate in the middle. But I just got some other ones. I think I'm going to try some tonight out on Twitch. I'm going to compare that coarse ground one with the finer ground one on vape pits. I know which one's going to work better, but I just want to see how well the coarse one does. Either way, I hadn't made a video about grinders in a while since that one I made last year, so I figured I could hit you guys with an update here. Again, type !grinder in my Twitch chat or Discord for a link. That's what I've been using, and I think it is really good. Don't forget to use code CUPIDS if you're checking it out. Have a lit day, my dudes.
Have you had your Hershey's? When you have rheumatoid arthritis, the smallest things can feel like the biggest obstacles. But Zeljans may...
Hello there! Welcome to the world of Pokemon! My name is Matt Pats. People call me the food theorist. This world is inhabited by creatures called Pokemon. For some people, Pokemon are pets. Others use them for flight. As for me, well, I slice them up and eat them. I mean, where else in the world of Pokemon am I supposed to get my protein? Sticks don't grow on trees, you know, but applins certainly do. Welcome to Food Theory, the show that's part of a balanced YouTube diet, provided you're also consuming the content of our sister channel, Game Theory. Speaking of Game Theory, make sure you round out your daily meal of online content consumption with the release of our newest episode, all about how the character in your story is secretly a Pokemon. That's right, I am doing a collab with myself, because why try to have friends when, you know, you can just make a new channel and be your own best friend. Anyway, let's talk about Pokemon and food, shall we? Question asked all the time. Do people in the Pokemon world eat Pokemon? What were the tastiest Pokemon? And here's the thing, friends, both of those questions are answered. Yeah, people eat Pokemon. The franchise doesn't even try to hide that fact. Like Appleton, the evolved form of Applin, whose Pokedex entry literally says that children will eat it as a snack.
Appleton. Its body is covered in sweet nectar, and the skin on its back is especially yummy. Children used to have it as a snack.
And then there's Farfetch'd, a Pokemon that was apparently so delicious it was hunted to the point of extinction. Slowpoke's tail is considered to be a delicacy. Shuckle eats berries that mix with its body fluids to become a delicious juice. And over in the world of the Pokemon anime, Ash even outright asks Professor Oak if he's eaten his Krabby.
Wait a minute, Professor, you're not eating my Krabby, are you?
Don't worry, that Krabby of yours is too small to make a very hearty meal. On the other hand, the Krabby that Gary caught would make an excellent dinner.
Look, here's the thing. I could sit here all day reading a Pokedex entries about edible Pokemon, but that's a topic that's quite frankly been done to death at this point. And honestly, all those questions miss the point. The biggest question of all isn't whether people eat Pokemon or which is the most delicious. It's actually what people in the Pokemon world would typically eat. What would a Kanto or Johto citizen's diet actually look like? I mean, sure, we know that Farfetch'd is some sort of rare delicacy, but if Pokemon are like the plants and animals of our world, by extension, most of the Pokemon should be edible. Scientists estimate that there are around 400,000 unique plant species on planet Earth, and that somewhere between 200,000 to 300,000 of them are edible. And despite such huge numbers of edible things, our regular diets tend to be somewhat limited. Sure, we can eat lobster and crab on a regular basis, but the average person in America eats less than a third of a pound of crab meat and lobster per year, out of over 220 pounds of meat they actually consume. Instead, it'd be more accurate to say that our proteins are just variants of beef, pork, chicken, and dairy. Same with plants. Our plant diets want to eat a small handful of fruits and veggies relative to the absolute massive number of vegetation that exists. And as someone who's interested in the world building of the Pokemon universe, I'm not concerned with which Pokemon could be eaten. My guess is that most could be eaten. Rather, I want to know which Pokemon would be most likely to actually be eaten by a regular civilian. Where do most of the people in the Pokemon universe derive their sustenance from? In my personal Pokemon farm simulator, which is definitely a game that's going to be coming from Nintendo these days, what species of Pokemon should rancher Matt Pat be raising? So pour yourself a nice cold glass of Moo milk and fire up the grill for some Toro steaks, because we're getting ready to chow down on some fresh, traditional food. To figure out which specific species of Pokemon would provide the most optimal food source, we're going to consider two things here. The economics of farming based on real-world comparisons, as well as what we directly know about the canon of the Pokemon. Let me begin by asking you a question. Why come from lobsters, crabs, mussels, and oysters? But statistically, it doesn't. Instead, most people watching this channel probably have a diet where they get most of their protein from sources like dairy, eggs, poultry, pork, and beef. But why is that? Well, like most things in the world, it all boils down to one thing: money. Farms are a business just like any other, and as such, the goal is to produce as much food as possible while spending as little money as possible. The cost of raising livestock depends on a large number of factors. For instance, in the U.S., where we have an abundance of land that can serve as pastures for cattle and an abundance of water to keep those pastures green, beef is actually one of the most profitable animals for farmers to raise. However, in other parts of the world, land and water are much more scarce. In many drier parts of Africa and Asia, goats are actually the more economic alternative because they require less water to raise. So, if they're more economical, then why don't American farms raise goats then too? Well, goats require more labor for each gallon of milk and each pound of meat they provide. So, for places that have an abundance of labor and a scarcity of well-watered green pastures, goats make more sense. In America, where labor is relatively expensive and land is cheap, cows are the economical choice. That seems to hold true no matter where in the world you are. Poultry is far and away the most efficient meat source. According to livestock farmer and author Kathy McCoon, broilers chickens that are raised for their meat and not their eggs are the cheapest meat source available for American farmers, costing 97 cents per pound of meat to raise. By contrast, pigs are at $1.69 per pound, and grass-fed beef is $1.64 per pound. So, by are saving about 40%. It's true in economic terms. It's also true in caloric efficiency. That is, how many calories of meat it takes to produce a single calorie of edible meat. I.e., for every 100 calories of meat a chicken consumes, you get 13 calories of chicken back. Compare that 13% for chicken to the 8.6% that pork provides and a paltry 1.9% that beef provides. Obviously, it's not just the meat that the farmers have to consider here. There's also byproducts like milk and eggs. Other sources of animal protein crush it on the efficiency metrics. Whole milk has a caloric efficiency of a whopping 24%. Eggs not far behind at 19%. So those are going to be the main Pokemon protein sources that I'm going to focus on. What would be our best dairy Pokemon, and what would be our best ranch Pokemon to raise and then slaughter from? And immediately when I say dairy Pokemon, there's one that pops into everyone's mind. Take cover! The thing is, but remember, just because a Pokemon can produce milk doesn't mean it's the best Pokemon for producing milk. Farms in the Pokemon world, just like farms IRL, are going to be all about efficiency. Well, I'm sure that a super innovative milk maker might use some exotic luxury that one percenters can enjoy with their Swana, foie gras, and Relicanth caviar. We're looking for what would be sold to budget-conscious grocery shoppers in the Pokemon world. So when it comes to Pokemon farming efficiency, there are two pieces of in-game data that I think makes the most sense for value. The first is the incubation period. For those of you who don't know, considering that this is the food channel after all, Pokemon hatch from eggs, and each Pokemon's egg takes a different amount of time, or to be more accurate, a different number of steps in order to hatch. Just to give you a baseline for comparison, starter Pokemon from Gen 1, like Charmander, Squirtle, and Bulbasaur, each take around 5,120 steps to hatch. The fastest hatching Pokemon, Magikarp, needs only a fifth of that, 1,280 steps, and the pre-evolved forms of rare Pokemon like Dragonite, Tyranitar, and Garchomp take slightly over 10,000 steps to hatch. Of course, you've not only got to hatch your Pokemon, you've also got to rate this.
Okay, you see the rest of the armor shipments?
And $9.99 a month for a music app, and $12.99 snap, which is why we're also going to consider a second criteria with growth rates for each Pokemon. After all, out in the real world, most cows don't get turned into meat until they've had 3 to 4 years of standing around converting nutrients from grass and corn into muscle and fat. Even short-lived animals like chickens still typically take over a month to reach full maturity, and the longer it takes to raise an animal, or Pokemon, the more feed, labor, and other resources have to be invested into raising it. Well, some animals do get converted to meat before reaching full maturity. For the obvious reason that it's less cost-effective to slaughter an animal before it's reached full maturity. In fact, a lot of the luxury food items are luxuries before it reaches adulthood, like caviar and lamb. So, for all those reasons, we actually have to factor in each Pokemon's growth rate, which is going to determine how much experience they require to grow. This could be seen like a each Pokemon falls into one of 6 groups, which overwhelmingly a consistent growth curve classified as fast, slow, medium fast, or medium slow. Those wiggly lines on the graph, by the way, are classified by the community as erratic and fluctuating. Also note that I'm not taking evolution into account, which is mostly because evolution honestly isn't worth it for farmers. Most Pokemon just live their lives in the wild and exist in an unevolved state, and unless each farmer is taking each of their Pokemon out to battle them to evolve, yeah, it makes sense. So, with all that Pokemon world, Miltank is actually one of the least efficient systems, especially in a slow experience. Skidoo and its evolution growth, both Miltank and Skidoo take the same amount of time to hatch. But while Miltank is a slow grower, Skidoo are both part of the medium fast group. That means that if you're trying to raise a bunch of dairy animals, you should be putting your money at one Skidoo. And Pokemon Anime actually seems to be running travels that Skidoo are renowned for.
Once I'm done with this, we'll go outside and take a break.
Really, I just did all this work for an answer that apparently the anime already knew. Weird, it's almost like they think through the logistics of this world. Oh, dude. No, never mind. So with our dairy out of the way, thanks to Skidoo the goat Pokemon, it's time to consider what our ideal meat source would be. analysis of real-world farming revealed poultry meat far and away most efficient meat source, it only makes sense to put the spotlight on bird Pokemon. For this analysis, I focused only on bird Pokemon that can be commonly found in the wild. No big Zapdos or dried Ho-Oh blisters. The most efficient categories for how easy they'd be to raise, and this part is key, how much meat usually they get from ones that are the fastest to farm. Similar and bigger isn't always better in quantity. Smaller critters are often quicker to grow, relying on chickens and not ostriches. Look, once you figured out which bird Pokemon are in the fastest growing category, you want to farm ones that are going to get the fattest. I found that, somewhat unsurprisingly, the fastest Pokemon fall into the category I refer to as cute, small, flying Pokemon that chill and when the new one appears in these different members, we have a wide selection to choose from. Pokemon like Cookie, Pikachu, Betchlet, Tyro, Starly, Zero, bird Pokemon of other types that appear later in the game or start off as hybrid types like the Dark-type Muckrow and the Ice-type Delibird invariably take longer to hatch. Same thing for non-flying birds like Piplup. Interestingly though, while all the